Welcome to the Leo Seal Jr. Complex. Thank you all for joining us on this very special day as we introduce Mississippi State's 21st head men's basketball coach. We appreciate everyone's flexibility and understanding as we hold this event here while construction is underway at Humphrey Coliseum. A few quick announcements. First, you'll hear from Director of Athletics John Cohen, who will introduce new head men's basketball coach Chris Jans and his wife Sherry. Coach Jans will make some opening remarks, and then he will take questions from accredited members of the media. We will only be taking questions from the media, and we appreciate your cooperation. Media members, during the Q&A portion, if you could please state your name and affiliation so Coach Jans can familiarize himself with you, that would be appreciated. It is now my pleasure to introduce the Director of Athletics at Mississippi State, John Cohen.
Good morning. Good morning. We appreciate you being here, and know we had some rough weather yesterday, and hope everyone stayed safe. I want to be brief, but first there's several people I'd like to thank. I want to thank Leah Beasley for her help in this process, Bo Hemphill, Bracky Brett, Eric George, and our Office of General Counsel, including Joanne Lucas and Brandon Jolly. As always, I want to thank our president, Dr. Mark Keenum, for his guidance and wisdom. Every day I'm reminded how fortunate we are to have Dr. Keenum at the helm here. Dr. Keenum regrets he couldn't be here today because of a previous travel schedule, but I know he shares the excitement of this great day for Mississippi State and for our men's basketball program. Finally, I want to thank our basketball student athletes, their families, our basketball staff, and our Bulldog Board Committee for all of their help and their patience. There's a tremendous amount of interest in this position in Mississippi State. It was a highly sought-after position. This is a testament to our prestigious university, our compassionate fan base, our outstanding student athletes, and the 7 years that Ben Howland gave to our Mississippi State men's basketball program. During this search, it was important for us to move quickly, but equally important, more important, was it for us to be thorough and comprehensive. That said, I'm confident we accomplished our objective and secured one of the premier coaches in all of college basketball, Chris Jans. My friend Mario Mocha at New Mexico State, one of the most respected ADs in the country, was asked this question 5 years ago. Are you comfortable making this hire? My answer is the same as Mario's, a resounding yes. Our research included conversations with student athletes and former staffers at Bowling Green, Wichita State, New Mexico State, as well as college basketball and professional experts around the country. During our comprehensive search, several things emerged about Coach Jans: his culture of accountability, his relationships with his players, his mentality of hard work and dedication, his tireless efforts in recruiting, his knowledge of the game inside and out, his versatility and ability to adjust and adapt, his emphasis on player development, and his vision for the future. Coach Jans is a proven leader and a proven winner. He is considered by many industry experts to be one of the elite coaches in the entire country. His overall resume really speaks for itself. In 12 years as a head coach at the Division I and junior college level, Coach Jans won 20 or more games in all but one season. He won a junior college national championship at Kirkwood in 1998. He helped build Wichita State into a powerhouse in the mid-2010s where they averaged 30 wins each of his last 4 seasons, including a Final Four appearance and an unprecedented 35-0 start to their season. Actually, that's a start and well into a season. He coordinated one of the nation's best turnarounds in 2015 as the head coach at Bowling Green. He took the Falcons that lost 20 games in 14 and guided them to a record-setting 21-12 overall mark in 2015. That year, he guided Bowling Green to their first postseason win since 1975. That historic season was capped by him being chosen as his peers as the National Association of Basketball Coaches' top first-year head coach with the 2015 Joe B. Hall National Coach of the Year Award. Chris Jans ushered in an unprecedented run of success during his 5 seasons at New Mexico State, guiding his program to a 122-32 record, highlighted by 3 NCAA tournament appearances in 4 years. It almost undoubtedly would have been 4 out of 5 years had COVID not been a factor. Last but certainly not least, Chris Jans has won an impressive 76.5% of his games at the Division I level. That winning percentage is 4th, and going into the tournament, by the way, it was 2nd. But it currently stands as the 4th best winning percentage among active coaches at the Division I level. He is only behind Gonzaga's Mark Few, Kansas's Bill Self, and Duke's Mike Krzyzewski. Chris Jans is ready to invest in the people of Mississippi. He's ready to elevate our program. He's ready to position our student athletes to compete for championships, and he's ready to bring a brand of basketball back to the hump of which our fans will be proud. Perhaps the greatest achievement of Coach Jans' life was his marriage to Sherry. Sherry, would you please stand up? Let's give Sherry a big hand. Sherry, I can't tell you how many fans you have scattered all over the country, and now I know that's for very good reason. Welcome to the Mississippi State family. And now please join me in welcoming the 21st men's basketball coach at Mississippi State, Coach Chris Jans. You got to go above that.
I understand. Hail State. I had some trial and error with that cowbell on the tarmac of the plane. It wasn't so smooth, to be honest with you. I had to get educated. Just want to say thanks, John, for the warm welcome. I appreciate it. Obviously glad to be here. I want to thank you folks. You guys took time out of your day, your discretionary time to come and get to know me better, and I appreciate that. This is an exciting day for my family and I. This is a dream opportunity for me. I've been coaching for 30 years, and when I started this odyssey, I wanted to be in a place like Mississippi State. I can't lie to you, in small-town Iowa, I didn't dream of being at Mississippi State. I didn't really have a dream job. I just wanted to be somewhere where it was important, and we were on the biggest stage, and we were competing with and against the best players in college basketball and the best coaches in college basketball. And obviously, in the SEC and Mississippi State, we're going to get the opportunity to do that. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to have that opportunity. Before I go any further, I just want to make sure John and I are on the same page. I'm very uncomfortable when people introduce me, and that we got to agree that's going to be the longest introduction you ever give me, okay? Like, if I'd have known you better, I would have cut you off about halfway through and say they can look all that up. That's very uncomfortable for me. Prior to additional comments, I need to thank some folks as well. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the folks at NMSU, particularly Gary Carruthers, the former chancellor at New Mexico State, who was the reason I was hired there. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. And equally important is my former AD, Mario Mocha. I'm indebted for the rest of my life to Mario and his family, the executive team at New Mexico State that allowed me to be their basketball coach for the last 5 years. We certainly started as, supervisor, employee, but it grew to be a special relationship, and hopefully he's watching. And I just want to say a sincere thank you to all the folks at New Mexico State, but especially Gary Carruthers and Mario Mocha for what they did for me and my family. Obviously, got to give a shout out to Dr. Keenum. I had the opportunity to spend some time with him when I first arrived, and it was awesome. When you walk into a president's office and you see the many shrines to athletics throughout his office. It makes you feel good as a coach that he's proud of the athletic programs at Mississippi State. You don't want to go somewhere where the guys at the top certainly field teams, but you can just get a feel the way he talked, how proudly he presented different areas of his office. And that made me feel very warm inside, knowing that the guy at the top, how important it was. And he certainly made me well aware of how important it is to beat the school up down the road a little bit too. I asked him if I could change offices because his view was unbelievable, and that was shot down very quickly. You don't arrive at this position without a lot of help. There's not enough time to thank all the people that helped me get here. First and foremost, all my former players. When you coach for as long as I have, you coach a lot of guys. And I tell each and every one of them the same thing. I'll be in your life for as long as you allow me to be. And that was from day one. And fortunately, I'm still friends with a lot of them. We grew our relationship from player coach to friends. And I'm recruiting some of their sons now, and that certainly makes you feel pretty old, but that's the way it goes sometimes. The clock doesn't stop. But I hope they feel good knowing that they had a big part in me being here. All my former bosses, I moved around quite a bit, if you know me, so I can't name all of them. I remember all of them, obviously, but I can't go through the whole litany of coaches, and certainly all my colleagues. You know who you are, and I love and appreciate what you've done for me, so thank you. And then lastly, and most important, is my family. This has been a journey for me and my family, and we've made mistakes along the way. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here either. They've loved me and helped me, and I'm just so appreciative for not just my immediate family, obviously, but my parents and siblings back in Fairbank, Iowa. And I come from humble beginnings. I was born and raised in a trailer park, and I'm proud of it. And I hope that the people back in my hometown, wasn't a fast food joint within 10 minutes. We had no stoplights. But I'm proud of where I come from. I love visiting the Wapsie Valley community. It means a lot to me. I went to a high school that had 4 roads, and 2 of them are gravel. And some of my best friends in the world are those people that I grew up with. And hopefully they're watching, and hopefully they're proud of me and what we're doing. Obviously, I want to thank my wife, Sherry. As John mentioned, she's the best part of me. I'm so fortunate to have picked my life partner, or recruited my life partner, let's be honest. It took a lot. It was the best recruiting job I've ever done in my entire life, and it's not even close. And then Nick and Maddie, they were with us last weekend in Buffalo, and they're in the working world now, so it was too much to ask to get a few more days off. But I know they're watching, and all they've ever done is be there for me and love and support me. And I love all of you. Thank you. I'm eager to lay the foundation of our program. Obviously, we've already started. There's a rich tradition of winning at Mississippi State. It goes back decades and decades. Some great coaches have walked through these halls and coached in this beautiful arena all the way back to Babe McCarthy. Certainly Richard Williams and the Final Four run. Coach Rick Stansberry and all the tournaments, NCAA tournaments, and the winning that he did while he was the head coach at Mississippi State. And certainly most recently with Coach Howland. He and his staff need to be applauded for the quality of student athletes that they've brought to Mississippi State. I've had the opportunity to meet these young men, and I just couldn't be more impressed with the people that he had around him, especially the players. And I just want to say thank you to Coach and his staff for having that vision. Obviously, people always want to know how we're going to play. That's the fun part for me. That's the easier part for me. We're gonna play with confidence. When we walk out of the tunnel, we're gonna have a swagger about us. We're gonna believe in each other. We're gonna play for each other. We're never gonna step on the floor without a chip on our shoulder, and we're never gonna look down at the other bench or the other half of the court as we're warming up and fear anybody. We're certainly gonna respect our opponents, but we're gonna be very prepared. We're gonna treat every game like the Super Bowl. That's how I was raised in basketball. And we're going to compete each and every night. We've got to recruit our sixth man. I know we have an unbelievable following. I've been reached out by many Hail State fans, many Bulldog fans, and it's exciting. But obviously we got to have a sixth man in the hump. We want to get the hump rocking. I'm excited about the renovations that are coming around the corner that'll make the fan experience, the game experience even better. We're going to be very active in the Starkville community. I can't wait to meet the folks in this beautiful community, and certainly, on campus. But it starts with me. We're going to build relationships with people. We're going to build them one by one. We're going to be active on campus. We're going to meet the Greek system and recruit those folks, get them excited, work with our marketing staff to create a game day experience. And certainly one of my biggest responsibilities is the product we put on the floor. My goal is win or lose. Certainly we want to win every game, but we want our fans and our people to be excited about how we're playing, to be excited about our compete level, to never leave the hump, kicking the can, mumbling under their breath about lack of effort or lack of us being prepared, because that's important to me. It's important to me that the people that come pay their money to watch us play know that we've prepared, that know that we believed we were going to win that game. And again, I'm not going to promise, we're going to win every game, but I will promise that we're going to play very, very hard. We're going to play smart, and we're going to leave everything on the floor each and every time we get the opportunity to put on the Bulldog uniform and compete with whoever we're going to compete against. Excuse me. I mentioned the players. That's the priority here. It's going to be the priority from day one. When I landed, other than seeing Dr. Keenum, that was the first thing that I needed to do. We organized a meeting. I had a chance to meet them, although briefly lay a foundation and a standard of expectation that will be required around here. And they were great. I met with half of them yesterday morning, if I'm not mistaken. The days are running together. And maybe it was 2 days ago. And I was scheduled to meet the rest of them yesterday afternoon, but, we were exposed to the Starkville weather yesterday. And, I was told to just wait 15 minutes and come outside and it'll change. So we had to postpone those meetings. But as soon as I'm done with today, I'll get to sit down with the other half of the team and just get to know them better. And that's what I've asked of them is, hey, I understand the landscape of college basketball right now, the transfer portal, it's different. And we're giving everybody time and space to figure it out. All I've asked them is give me a chance. Give me a chance to get to know me. See if your vision for your future aligns with how we do things around here. And then if you don't think this is the place for you, we'll shake hands and I'll help you in any way I can. I think that's just how it's going to be in college basketball. We're going to try to recruit the best and the brightest that we can get. We're going to compete on the recruiting trail at the highest level. Obviously, in the league we're playing in, coaches are confident, I'm confident, but it's about the players. We're going to give them a first-class experience. We're going to arm them with a first-class education at Mississippi State. We're going to equip them with life skills, while we're trying to win championships and raise banners and cut down nets. But the older I get, the more important it is to me to make sure when our players leave that they're in a better place to handle what's thrown at them out in this world. And again, it means a lot to me. And we're going to do that from day one. We've already started. We're still working on staff. You know, I got a situation back at New Mexico State where my associate head coach, James Miller, who's one of the finest coaches in America, is involved with the job. And so I'm not doing anything until that situation is resolved. In closing, I just want to make sure everybody knows I'm thrilled to be the head coach at Mississippi State. It means the world to me. I'm going to handle it with care. I'm going to work tirelessly at my job to ensure that all of you are proud of this program. And we're going to do our best, like I said earlier, to raise banners, win championships, and cut down nets. I appreciate you being here. Go Bulldogs. What you'll find about me is I won't speak for my players, but from my perspective, I thought it went well. You know, I've been a head coach. This is my 7th go around, so you know this isn't my first rodeo at meeting a new team and trying to build relationships in you know a quick time frame. You know, but it's an ongoing process. You know, the first one was more of a meet and greet. Now it's getting underneath the individual situations that they're all in. And, you know, it'll continue. You know, back in the day, you would land, get a rental car, get a credit card, and you'd be on the road. But for me, the most important recruits that I have right now are the ones that are here. We've got to do our best to retain, you know, these young men that have already poured some of their heart and soul in this program. And hopefully, like I said, they're going to give me some time to build a relationship with them before they make their ultimate decision. And we're working on it right now.
Hey, Chris, Stefan Krajisnik with the Daily Journal. You know, obviously this is a time where both you and John Cohen would probably rather be preparing for games than having press conferences. And how quickly do you feel like with this roster you can get, you know, Mississippi State back to the NCAA tournament?
Well, the goal is to be in the tournament next year. What you're going to find is with me, you're not going to hear me talking about building a program. In this day and age of transferring and the portal and just the landscape of college basketball, I just don't think that's the way it's going to be done anymore. I think you got to build a team each and every year. And with my junior college background, that's what I've done the majority of my career. So I'm comfortable in this space. I'm comfortable in bringing in bigger classes because, like I said, that's what we've done for the most part my whole career. But I think it's been proven around the country that you can, you know, turn your fortunes around in a hurry. And so we're not going to shy away from our goals. We want to be, you know, perennial NCAA March Madness teams. If it's an automatic bid or an at-large bid, that's going to be one of our goals each and every season. It's certainly going to be a goal heading into next year as well.
Hey, Chris, John Sokoloff with WCBI TV down here in Columbus. This is a program kind of going off this question there that hasn't been in the tournament only one time in the last 10 years or so. What do you think is the most impressive quality about your coaching style that's going to kind of help change things around here?
I'm not sure, you know, impressive is the right word, but I think people will enjoy the compete level of our kids. That's important to me. I mean, you're playing this game that you've put so much time and effort into, and most of these young people have worked their tail off, and this is a dream come true for them too, to play at a school like Mississippi State, and they all have dreams of being professionals. And our job is to try to help them turn their dreams into reality. But on game night, when all the eyes are on you and it means so much to so many, why would you not give your best effort? And that's going to be something that we pride ourselves on. It's going to be an important part of our culture. And you do that by just being an everyday guy. Just being frank with you, our practice gym won't be 75 and sunny every day. We have high expectations and high standard for our work level, how we go about doing our business. It's not a light switch. You can't walk into game day and turn it on and expect to play at a certain level. You've got to build that up over time. And that's what I've learned through the years. And, that's going to be our focus, is to be everyday guys. And then when the game comes, certainly your adrenaline, all that stuff kicks in. But I think you have the ability to play at even a higher level at that stage. But I want people to be impressed with, how hard our kids play, how well we compete, and as equally important is how well we play with each other.
Coach, Danny P. Smith, Strawful Daily News. Welcome to Strawful.
Thank you.
I know you said your priority was talking to the current players and making sure that was your biggest recruiting priority right now. But I know they've already have a signing class in place. Have you even tried to reach out to any of those at the moment? And if not, how soon do you think you'll be visiting with them?
I've communicated with all those young men via text first and then phone calls second. So I've communicated with twice with each and every one of them and basically told them the same thing. This is the rough side of college basketball, the business side of college basketball. And it's no fun sometimes. They didn't sign up for this, just like these players didn't sign up for this. I understand that. And, I just tried to get to know them via the phone, kind of gave them my vision, asked them how they're feeling, get to know them a little better. And, we've been well received. But, again, I understand this business, and we're going to give them their space. We're making plans for a couple of them to try to get in front of each other here in the near future so we can, have that connection. But, we're going to give them, amount of time to make decisions and do what's best for them. Certainly, we're hopeful that, just like our current players, that we can retain, the core group of Mississippi State basketball.
Paul Jones, 24/7 Sports. Coach, you mentioned, and John Cohen mentioned too, the new look Humphrey Coliseum. How big of a key was that for you starting a new job here and also to have a new look Coliseum?
When my wife and I walked on the floor for the first time, I got chill bumps. I was told by colleagues that had played in the Hump from visiting teams that it was one of their favorite venues in the SEC. So certainly I was excited when I heard that from people that I trust and respect. But when I walked out underneath it, like I would on game day, I just had a bunch of emotions run over my body. And obviously that's going to be my perspective for the most part, standing at that level. And it just felt good. It just felt good. It felt right. I love the verticality of the seats. They don't seem like there's a bad seat in the house. With the premium seating on the way, the renovations in the concourse area, the fan experience, the game experience is going to be even better. It's got to be loud in there. I've heard it is. Obviously, I can't wait to feel it myself. But certainly, trying to keep up with the Joneses is always a part of college athletics at this level. And it was awesome to know that, that was the direction that we were going in.
Hey, Coach. Kari Thompson, the Clarion Ledger. You've had a ton of success pretty much everywhere you've been, including Bowling Green. There was an incident where you lost your job. Don't want to really get into the details, but how did that incident help you grow? How have you grown from that incident?
Yeah, I made a huge mistake, and at the end of the day, I had to make a decision along with my wife and family, and it was rough. but I vowed to not let that define me. I vowed to pick myself up off the ground, learn and grow. And you'd have to ask others, but personally, I think I'm a better person, man, coach, husband now than I was then. And like I said earlier, a lot of people helped me, a lot of family and friends, were there for me. And but again, I've owned it. I never ran away from it. It's a part of who I am. It'll always be a part of who I am. And my charge is to make sure that, I'm better coming out the other side.
Just to follow up on that, I know when you started at New Mexico State, you kind of gave a lot of praise to Greg Marshall for a second chance he gave you, and obviously New Mexico State did as well. What do you think you proved in that time at New Mexico State, and how much does it mean to you that your AD there would give such a resounding endorsement for you here at Mississippi State?
When I arrived there, I just asked the folks at New Mexico State and the folks in the Las Cruces community to, give me a chance to get to know me and my family, and we built lifelong relationships there. I'm just over the moon at being here. But to be perfectly honest with you, there were some bittersweet moments because of the people that we've left. They opened, they welcomed us with open arms. Just awesome folks on campus, off campus. Greg Marshall, had a lot of coaches, a lot of mentors. I learned how to run a program and really coach basketball with my 9 years of being around Coach. And just like I said about Mario Mocha, I'm indebted to Greg and Lynn and his family for the rest of my life.
Any other questions? Ryan?
Hey, Coach. Brian Haydad, Super Talk, Mississippi. You had a lot of success in the junior college ranks where you only have players for a year, 2 years at a time. Does that give you an advantage in this era of the transfer portal?
I hope so. I hope so. We'll find out. I love junior college basketball. I cut my teeth in junior college basketball. Some people look down their nose at junior college basketball, probably because they've never been there. I was able to make mistakes without, the bright lights and the big platform as a young coach. But it's a part of my journey. My blueprint is probably not one that young coaches look at me and say, yeah, I want to follow his path. Where I've been and how many times I've moved and the places I've lived. There's plenty of other better blueprints out there, but it's mine. And I love it. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've learned so much from so many. I've bounced around, but I've been exposed to different ways of doing things on the court, off the court. I have pockets of people all across the globe now because of, going different places back and forth across the country. But, I'm a proud JUCO guy. If you look across the country, there's a lot of former junior college coaches that are having a lot more success than I'm having, and certainly they've been inspirations to me. But I truly believe at the end of the day that experience of bringing in larger classes, that experience of having to build teams on the fly and not having, classes bumping up against each other and having to wait some time for them to develop into the player that you need to win at that level, whatever level you're at, is going to help me. And we're not shying away from, the goals of winning right away. I've already addressed that. And with the landscape of college basketball, that's why I think it can happen.
Chris, obviously you've been around college basketball and seen, the rise that the SEC has had throughout the past decade or so. What do you think about the level of basketball right now in this conference and kind of where it stacks up nationally? And I'm sure you got a pretty good look at it not too long ago when you were going up against Arkansas.
I knew someone had to bring that up. I still haven't. It was fast and furious, obviously. I still haven't got to process, that game. And I love being here, but I wish I was in San Francisco right now playing in the Sweet 16. But that was kind of cool, to be honest with you. to be able to scout Arkansas and, watch 5 or 6 SEC games while I'm preparing for, the round of 32. And so obviously I was completely focused on the task at hand, but I'm human and I was watching, some of these other teams. So, that was nice to be able to, just kind of peek at them, if you will. But everybody knows, how good a basketball is being played in the SEC. Certainly there's some turnover right now. A lot of new coaches, in situations like we are. So, I don't know if that helps us or hurt us. Time will tell. I don't have a crystal ball. But excited to be in this league, I can tell you that.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Thank you.